everybody. It's Mackenzie. I'm here with Jake. We're back.
Hi, how's it going?
Thanks for sticking with us. Sorry again about being a bit behind today. Traffic and accidents. We're back.
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
Well, I was fine. It was just slowed down.
Yeah.
Had fender bender, and then everybody just has to stop, and then the cops come, and everybody has to swerve crazy ways. When you're working on I plan 45 minutes to get out here because I know I might hit some traffic, but if anything goes wrong in that, then I end up being 10 minutes late. So
Yeah.
bummer.
That's amazing you're here at all. Thank you for coming out. Yeah.
I'm happy to do it. It's good to work with divas and to work with this guy. So we're here with Arrow. If you missed it last week, it was hey, I know my name. We did a little bit of recall training. We started introducing clicker training. So if you caught the last session, it was kind of good recap of last week. This week I thought we'd just keep going with recall training.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to work on for fun?
For fun?
You cold kid?
Well, the other problem behaviors are a little bit of bitiness with his
mouthy,
with a little mouthy, and then running to the cars.
Oh yeah, we could work on running to the cars. I'd like to do some recall work and something just really fun to do with him, leave it, and then next session, if we can do it again next week, we could start working on car stuff.
Okay, what's leave it?
So leave it is an impulse control behavior.
Okay.
So we start with food. We started doing it with the donkeys tonight. We've done it with them in the past where we went on some refresher. And the idea with it is that you ignore the thing that you want to get the thing that you want. But what's really cool about it is it's the beginning of one behavior that we'll start to teach to help him with running up to cars and stuff too.
Okay.
So that he has more, hopefully, impulse control over those instinctual drivers. So there's typically a drive for dogs to go for food, seek it out and then gobble it up. And what we're doing with Leave It is starting to introduce the idea that the best way to get food is ignoring food.
Okay.
So I'll just walk you through the basics of this, and then we can do a little bit more recall training. And then, I think that'll probably be most of our time tonight.
Okay.
Any questions before we start?
No.
Let's get down to some clicker training. So
all right.
I'm going to start Leave It by introducing it at a level where I know he's going to succeed, because he's been ignoring food this whole time. And all I got to do is start teaching him that even when the food seems tempting, the best way to get it is to ignore it. So I have the food here. He can tell. You just saw him sent the air. There you go, kid. And he took it from me really nice, which is also nice. That's good with that bitiness. He's just still ignoring it. Now you might think, oh yeah, well that's super easy, dog ignoring food 2 feet above him. But we got to practice the car thing too. I'm just going to ignore the Leave It because that's more of a difficult behavior right now. And he's doing really good. He's just sitting here laying. Great. Sometimes in training you have to deal with the behavior that you need more or whatever comes up. And especially if a dog has some difficulties with chasing vehicles, or maybe they are afraid of strangers and a stranger suddenly pops up. You don't keep training Leave It rather than working on the stranger. You work on ignoring that stranger and go back to your Leave It afterwards, because that's the more pertinent behavior. If I just kept going with criteria on Leave It, I'd end up having a dog who wanted to take off after the car, and then pretty soon, my whole training reward schedule gets mixed up. Okay, so what I'm dealing with Leave It is distraction, which we're just our distraction for today. That was a distraction, but it's probably too high of a distraction to have success with and do our Leave It training. Okay. So our distraction is just open hand versus closed hand. We want to get all of our behaviors closed hand before we work on them open hand. I'm also working on distance. What's the distance at which he can ignore the food? And then I'm also working on duration. That was a very long duration Leave It with a closed hand high up. So now I'm going to introduce open hand high up. It was really short duration, open hand high up. Now I'm going to introduce closed hand lower down. Short duration, closed hand, lower down, right? So distance, distraction, duration. Since I got closed hand, lower down, I'm going to try open hand, lower down for really short duration. Open hand, short duration, okay? Since I got that, I'm going to try closed hand, longer duration. So I'm starting to add together the different criteria. Very good. So just slightly longer duration there. I did a couple hard ones. I'm going to do another easy one. It's not super concerning to me if he doesn't totally understand the game or what he's getting rewarded for right now. Okay. He's getting that lane there, not going after the food. He hasn't tried it. It's still a high ratio of success.
Right.
So I'm going to squat down. I know he's a little bit nervous of me, so I'm just going to take this really easy and go at a distance. So squatted down, closed hand. He didn't go for the food. He gets the treat. Oop, here you go, kid. That was bad delivery on my part. Now it's under a leaf. Oh, but you're capable of dealing with that. It's so good.
Good job.
What a good guy. Okay, so I got closed hand, ignoring. Now we're scenting a little bit, but we ended up ignoring it. That's totally acceptable. Okay, closed hand, ignoring. We didn't scent, so I definitely want to click for that.
Are you waiting until he kind of loses interest in your hand, or just as long as he doesn't try to go for it?
As long as he doesn't try and go for it. And if he does, like, pretend to be totally disinterested, like looking away, moving away, I might give him 2 as like a jackpot. Okay, so let's see if we can do open hand close. I'll let him finish sniffing. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. That was really good. So dog ignoring, high value reward, really close because we stacked up our reinforcement on ignoring it. You want to take a try?
Sure, I'll give it a go.
So you can just do like a handful of treats. Start where I started, not where I ended, and then let's see if we can raise criteria into him ignoring an open hand for 1 or 2 seconds. At first I'll coach you, but then I'll let you take the reins on it. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Do you want me to take his leash just to make it easier for you?
Sure, yes. Please.
One less thing to hold on to.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's start with closed hand high. And just really short duration, 1, 2, click, treat. Good. Yeah, there you go, guy. Let's do closed hand a little bit lower, short duration. Click, treat. Nailed it.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. Okay, let's do open hand high, short duration. 1, 2. Beautiful.
Good job. Okay.
Now let's do closed hand high, long duration.
Okay.
So count to 10. You can count in your head. I was like, this is the easiest game ever. I'm just going to lay here. Food comes to me. Cool. Now let's do closed hand lower. I'll let you figure out your microphone. No, it's a little tricky, like, doing this stuff on mic because you have the added burden of, like, wires in addition to, like, all the other stuff you got to have for animal training.
All right.
Okay, we're going to do closed hand. Low this time, short duration. So you can stick it like pretty close to his face and see what happens. And just do like 1 second. Yeah, beautiful. Good
job.
Let's do that one more time and see if we can get him not to scent mark by just moving it a little bit further away. So don't introduce it so close.
Okay.
1, 1,000. Nailed it. Good. And give him like 2 or 3 because he didn't scent mark that time.
Good job.
Good job. Cool. Let's do open hand but a little bit higher.
Okay.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Click treat. Beautiful. Yeah, very good. A little jackpot there. And let's do one more, and we're going to do open hand, but a little bit closer this time, and for just 1 second. And if he goes for it, don't worry about it. Yeah. If he goes for it, what we can do is just close our hand and just not reinforce, and then do another repetition where we do open hand a little bit further away, so that we're continuing to get the kind of not scent marking. Okay. And what we really want to watch out for is that we don't get touches it, goes away, because it's really easy to train, and a lot of people do this with Leave It where they train. I've actually changed how I train it from how I used to, because I've just been noticing that, like, for me this was never a problem because I'd isolate it out, but for a lot of clients they'd get this Leave It that was hand target ignore, hand target ignore, and what we really want with a Leave It behavior is ignore, 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 ignore. Yeah. So if we do get that kind of motion towards or anything, it's not a big deal at all. We'll just do a reset and try and train more with lower criteria a little bit further away. Okay. So that's a good Leave It session to my mind. Okay. So let's give them a little break on Leave It. And let's see if we can start building into recall, our recall work, just a little bit more distance of coming and coming away from distractions. So can I steal just a couple more treats from you?
Oh, sorry. Here.
No, you're good. Again, we can use a marker word instead of our clicker for this, and a lot of people
BEN last time.
That's right, we did. We used BEN to mean, we were going to use it to mean
COME.
Yeah. And a marker word is something that stands in for your click. So it can be yes, it can be click, it can be whatever. And some people just like the coordination of turning and running and clicking. You know, it's like adding one more thing to the mix. It's hard. So you can condition a marker word just like you condition a clicker, and it's just yes, yes. And then we want to be really careful with that word, just like we are with our clicker. And sometimes I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying, like, it's an option if you want to try it. It's easy because it's just like one less thing to worry about. So if you all remember, we started our training. We're just going to start the same way today. with trying to get a click treat for even just turning back to us, and then we're just throwing that treat away, and we're marking that turn back to us. Good. And I'm letting him drag his leash for this because he's pretty attentive right now, and there's not a lot of distractions pulling him away. If a car came up, I might step on that leash, not in a way to like hurt him. Oh, good. Good job, kid. But in just a way to like prevent him from chasing a car and maybe hurting himself. Very good. And then we started raising criteria to calling him and then looking for the sit, if I recall correctly.
I don't think we've done that yet.
All right. Well, that's easy to do. Oh. Beautiful.
You did it anyway.
Yeah. So, again, I was pretty sure he'd turn back to me, but I started him on just capturing the behavior before I started using the word. So, again, I'm going to just try that. And then do a couple easy ones. These are pretty good. Here. There you go. So, treat down. Ben. Which is just straight to sitting, which is fine. But I'd like him to come up to me so he can be caught. Remember, that's part of our step. Ben! Nailed it. Here you go. And he's a little bit cautious of approaching me, which is fine. I'll take it. Like, I could catch him like that with his leash on, you know? Yeah. And I'm not going to be super concerned. I think with you, he'll be a little bit more comfortable, but we won't add in the catching step until the very end. Probably not even today. Because he's hesitant about it, and I don't want to get him thinking that it's a negative thing. So I'm going to finish off, or actually I'm going to save these couple treats so I can be a distraction for you. But why don't you just work back through, click a few times for turning towards you, and then throw that treat. And then once you're kind of in that rhythm, see if you can pair his recall word with that turn.
Okay.
And you can then start working on the sit. Good. Nice. Way to keep eyes on your pup. That's a great... He's like, I know there's more here. I thought I saw him eat it, but maybe you missed it.
I thought he got it. Should I give
that's
it
all right. No,
or?
You're good. He definitely got it. He's like, I'll just sit.
Yeah. No.
That works.
Right here, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be hard getting it in the grass, but that's okay. Good. You're doing great. Just walk off. I'll try and be less of a distraction here. Good. Very good.
Ben.
Good.
Sit.
Good. And now let's just delay our click until he's actually sitting.
Okay.
So not marking the moment that he kind of turns to us, but if he takes a step, you can mark for that, or if he sits, you can mark for that.
Ben.
Good. Why don't you head towards me, and let's see if you can give him a call. And he's waiting, too. That's really cool.
Ben. Ben.
Good. Good.
Oh, he didn't sit. Oops.
That's all right. That's okay. It's a kind of hesitant approach, so I'd rather get the approach than the sitting.
Ben. Ben.
Good. Mark. Good. Okay, let's pause for a second. Get a couple treats. This time, if he doesn't come on the first one, I want you to just see if you hustle that way, just like turning and running a little bit more so that your shoulders are facing away from him. If he'll start coming and then mark and treat for that.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
So if he doesn't, when you say the word, if he doesn't come right to you, rather than repeating the cue, what we want to do is try and get the behavior, right? So, and then mark for that behavior. Because what we want it to be is under stimulus control eventually, where the first time we say that word, he just comes sprinting. Okay. And if we keep repeating it, we're doing like an equal amount of pairing the behavior with not doing the behavior that we want to see, but actually sitting, right? Okay. And staying stationary. So if you say it, he doesn't come, don't worry about it too much. Just move further faster and see if he starts coming. And then mark that movement. That's going to be what we mark. He's really studying up on what I'm saying. He gave me such a look. It's like, this lecture is boring. Let's get more treats involved.
Ben.
Good. There it is. Click. Yeah, because he came right away, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it, just turn away and keep going and see what happens.
Okay. Ben.
Nice.
What should I do?
That's okay. You can click because he's following you. Drop a treat on the ground so he has to look at it. There you go. And now head away. So he's kind of still stuck there. And then when you think he's got it and he's looking to do it, say the cue.
Ben.
Good.
Oh, dang.
Very good. No, you did great. That was perfect. Head away.
Ben.
Good. Ooh, there's some pickup in it that time. That's what I want to see. I want to see a dog is like coming for it. Cool. Let's see if he'll come away from me just with the treats. He's feeling a little suspicious of me for some reason. He's like, something's going on with that guy. So now walk away and see if you can get him to come away from these treats.
Ben.
Good. So he just demonstrated coming away from a strange person with food in their hand right at his nose to get the reward over there and for the recall, which is awesome. That's really great for 2 sessions. You did a really good job.
Arrow.
Good job. Yeah, he nailed it. Cool. Well, I think that's good for recall training for today. Let's end on that success. Give him 2 or 3 treats and keep telling him he did a really good job.
You did a really good job, Arrow. Good job. Here you are. I'll give you 1 or 2 more here, buddy. Good job. Good boy.
Okay, so there's a question about why we're using the word that we are, B-E-N, and why we're being really careful about how we use it. So last week we decided on that as his recall cue, and we want to create like a really strong positive association with it. The reason that we're not using words like come or here or things that traditionally like you would use for a recall cue is that Arrow had some negative associations with recall training at first.
Using come.
Yeah, using the word come as the cue to try and get the behavior. Unfortunately, that made him really shy of recall. So we're trying to dodge any negative associations he has with that word. We could spend a lot of time counter conditioning it, try and make it a positive word in his brain again. But rather than using all that energy on what you call in training a poison cue, or a cue that has been heavily associated with a really strong and harsh punisher, rather than trying to work to change the meaning of that word in his brain, we've decided to sidestep that, use a word that he's not going to hear a lot so it has a really specific context, which is, this is awesome, good things happen. And it's really, and like, this is a game that I'm used to playing with really awesome things coming from it. And that's going to make it much more likely that he's going to be responsive to that cue when we actually need it most. Yeah. So are we there yet? No, but we're building. We're slowly building a really strong recall behavior. And that's pretty good for a dog who used to be pretty shy of coming up if you called to him. So we're being really careful not to use his name, not to use what you traditionally use as a recall word, because we want to make sure that anybody who hasn't been walked through this training doesn't know how to call him, and then maybe they overcall him at the wrong moment when he's not prepared for it, right? And then we diminish that cue. So we're guarding it. We're being safe with it. We're treating it just like our clicker, where it's an important tool that we hold on to and we only use when we're working and prepared to in scenarios that he's prepared for, and has really positive associations so that when the time comes that we really need him to recall, he'll actually turn on a dime and just come charging for us. Dogs who have had this sort of training from the very beginning, you can really quickly build up recall to away from prey animals, all sorts of stuff. Unfortunately, because he has like some negative conditioning in his past, it'll go a little bit slower with Arrow, but that's okay.
Also, it does really help me as well to have a specific word for this training, because then I don't overuse or accidentally use the other recall word. Yeah. So it's training me as much as it's training him.
Which is a lot of what dog training is about. It's just helping people figure this stuff out. Yeah. Lord knows it took me a while. Are there any other questions for us, James? Okay, well, do you have any questions, Jake?
Oh, no. Thank you very much. Yeah. You did a really good job today.
Yeah, I think we did great. You guys did great. We all did great. Oh. You all out there did awesome. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun getting to hang out with you all. So I'll be back. I'm planning on coming back next week because I'm going to be away for about a week and a half and have to skip my normal one every other week. So I'll be in next week to kind of make up for that. You want to make sure and turn in tomorrow night for Bird Chat. Is Bird Chat at 6 or 7? I'm spacing now. It's either at 6 or 7.
Well, tomorrow we have the bucket truck coming.
Oh, so and we do have tomorrow's a big day. Thanks for reminding me of that. I totally forgot about that. So we will have the bucket truck here in the morning, and we're going to do our best to make sure that there's a camera on the action for most of the day, but also please bear with us because it tends to be a scramble when the bucket truck shows up.
Yeah,
and it's
There's
easy.
Something
goes wrong.
Yeah, or
yeah.
new challenges.
appear.
appear.
And occasionally we do, in the midst of all that, forget to keep our eye on the action because something new comes up. So please remember, just bear with us. We're doing our best. It can be tricky, and sometimes unexpected things come up when the bucket truck arrives. But it's for the good because it means bird feeders, cleaner views, and also it's kind of fun to watch a scramble, I think.
Yeah.
So
get close-ups of us on those cameras. It'll be Sterling and James tomorrow.
Great. Cool. What are you off to?
I have a kind of a new job at a law firm in town. So
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's big news.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's very demanding.
Yeah. Law firms tend to be that way.
Yeah.
Part of why I dodged all that.
Yeah. I don't get to have the fun of going up in the bucket truck.
Oh, dang
this
it!
Season.
This season. Did you go earlier this year?
Yeah, I went in the spring.
For the spring cleaning.
Yeah. And then I think we went up again this year for another reason.
It is really cool up there. I got to do it once. It was pretty fun.
It's really fun. I really enjoy it. So I'm a little bit bummed that I don't get to do it tomorrow, but
well,
I'll just do it in the spring.
Yeah, you'll do it in the spring. Yeah, we'll steal you away for it in the spring. Well, cool. All right. Well, thanks to James for cam in. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Make sure you catch Bird Chat and all the definite shenanigans that will happen when the bucket truck arrives tomorrow. All right, folks. I'll see you all next week, if not sooner.
See ya.
Thanks.